Welcome to Creature Creator, the show where I help you recreate your favorite stories and characters at your gaming tables. Today, we are heading south, way down south, to a place further than the universe to clash with the shape-shifting extraterrestrial from John Carpenter's The Thing. Originally based on the novella Who Goes There by John W. Campbell, Carpenter's film was originally considered a flop when it first came out, thanks in part to being released during a recession against a much more hopeful, family-friendly film. Nowadays, it's regarded as a cult classic and a staple of the sci-fi genre, leading to it spawning its own collection of adaptations in the form of comic books, video games, and a prequel. Even the tabletop world has not been able to escape its influence, and it's my goal to show you a couple of fun ways you can assimilate The Thing into your own adventures. Here on Creature Creator. Hello there, I'm Flintworth, and welcome to another year of Creature Creator. Today we're gonna have some real fun figuring out how to create games based around The Thing, because as I like to put it, writing a game with The Thing is like getting to run a murder mystery where you never find out if the killer ever gets caught. Fortunately, this kind of scenario is less about the destination and more about the journey, as we get to go and create games that are filled with psychological terror, hideous monstrosities, and moral complications that could compromise the entire world. How much you tie such themes of your thing to a certain virus we've all been dealing with since 2020, I'll leave up to you. But it is worth considering the exact power set of your shape-shifting alien nightmare before you go deciding on a system, because it really could mean the difference between going with a simplified role-playing game like Kids on Bikes over a secret role-heavy game like Blood on the Clocktower. Hell, with a little bit of ingenuity, you can have a solid night role-playing around various games of Among Us for those groups that want all of the thrill of The Thing without having to deal with the visuals of The Thing. Seriously, folks, you should talk to your group beforehand how much they really need to stomach, because these creatures can get real gooey real fast. Now say you want to play up the mystery of The Thing by using an alien that can just shapeshift, to give your players an enemy where they actually can go and trade blows with, without all the worry of them, getting absorbed into it. Not necessarily because you want to go easy on the players, but rather to allow you the chance to run something longer than a one-shot. This is where I advise you to pull out copies of Kids on Bikes or Call of Cthulhu. Both systems allow you to have combat with monsters of all shapes and sizes, but also allows you to build up the horror beats in your story. Kids on Bikes, for example, makes your players establish what their fears are during character creation, which can be really handy role-playing out moments of terror in a game. Whereas Call of Cthulhu contains an entire chapter of mechanics concerning insanity. Perfect for those who want a character's madness and paranoia to really affect gameplay. Not to say you can't use a more adventure-focused game system like Pathfinder or Dungeons & Dragons. The main issue is that in those games, madness is often treated as a status effect or a debuff, and it's really hard to build up the tension of terror in a story when players can just diffuse a situation with a well-timed ability. Or worse yet, remove any element of mystery by casting Zone of Truth at the right time. Speaking of secrecy though, what if your alien was capable of infecting and assimilating others? Where it's not only difficult for your players to tell friend from foe, but it's a very dangerous thing to get into open conflict, even for the shape-shifting alien. This is where I would advise picking up a social deduction type of game, where at the start of play, everyone is given a role or team which they must keep secret while completing objectives for their side. If you think I'm basically describing the premise behind Mafia or Werewolf, you'd be correct. While they're not traditionally role-playing games, there is no reason you and your friends can't go and take on characters or personas while playing, nor should your game master be discouraged to not give a little bit of narrative between rounds. However, if your group is looking for something with a little bit more meat to it, I would highly recommend saving up to grab yourself a copy of a game called Blood on the Clocktower. This gem of a box contains everything you'll need to create a night of paranoia, dramatic reveals, and nail-biting decisions. But what I really love about this game is 1, there is no player elimination. When you die, you are still part of the game. 2, everyone gets their own unique ability that they can use to suss out the bigger mystery that's playing out around you. In 3, the narrator has various ways to help out the underdog team, ensuring almost every one of your games will end on a final nail-biting vote. The box can also be turned into this giant book that holds all the Game Master's components, which looks so cool to see you get carried around while the GM narrates your game. It's worth mentioning that there is no harm taking an element from any of these games and inserting them into the middle of a campaign, especially if it helps you play up an important story beat. For instance, I once started a session of D&D by handing out to my players secret roles while establishing there was a shapeshifter amongst them, which quickly caused them to be suspicious of everyone, including each other, straight on until the end of the night, where I had them reveal that none of them was the imposter the entire time. There's no paranoia like wild witch hunty paranoia in my playbook. But what of the setting and mood? Having clear rules for your alien is important, yes, but it is only half creating a true scenario with the thing. The first big thing you'll want to do in this regard is to choose the right location. And regardless of how invasive your thing ends up being, it will need to be in a place that is both cold and isolated, like Antarctica or space. Seriously, do yourself and your players a favor. Don't put your game in a place with too many creatures for your monster to infect or imitate. You want to be subtle with an enemy like the thing. Besides, just think of the nightmare it would be to have to run a combat encounter set in a jungle infected with a thing. Picking an isolated location also comes with the added benefit of allowing you to more easily recreate the cold, unforgiving world of the films, which you can easily emulate by leaning in on shades of blue and white in your descriptions to really establish the pristine and peaceful landscape right before you start slathering with reds and greens as the carnage unfolds. We want to stir up feelings of unease and hopelessness because they are so paramount when dealing with a Lovecraftian monster like the Thing, where your player's biggest problem needs to be not, how do we beat it? But rather, how do we beat it, guys, before it devours the world? To clarify, this doesn't mean your thing needs to be a chaotic, rampaging, mindless monster, because the original alien is actually pretty damn intelligent. It's capable of learning its surroundings, formalizing plans, and biding its time to carry them out efficiently and ruthlessly, even if it means helping its prey kill off others of its kind. The Thing can also be one hell of a spiteful creature, showing no hesitation trying to take others down with it, no matter the cost. I would argue that it would make the perfect killing machine if it were not for the fact that its greatest weakness happens to be its opponent's greatest strength, playing well with others. Rest easy, xenomorphs, you are still the perfect organisms. Because unlike your kind's dedication to the safety of the hive, the Thing doesn't believe in the concept of self-sacrifice for a greater good. It only believes in what is good for itself. You can actually hint to this nature if your party manages to confront your alien out in the open, because I would not be surprised as they are blowing it sky high that parts of it will be ripping themselves away in the vain hope to get out of Dodge faster than you can say,
You gotta be f***ing kidding.
I cannot stress enough though, as fun as it would be to flip the script and roll all of these shambly bits into one giant eldritch monstrosity boss, do so only during the height of your tale's climax, when your players are left in a place that could very well decide the fate of the world. Until you reach that point, do everything in your power to maintain and build up the tension of your game. It will be demanding on your patience. It will challenge you to create hints that don't give everything away. And it will very likely force you to run an ending where there are no clear winners. But if you can handle all of that, you and your friends will get to experience the most improbable and most likely unsolvable murder mystery they'll ever have the privilege of playing in, that I would not be surprised they'll be talking about for years to come. Next time on Creature Creator. Roses are red, Toy Bonnie is blue. Wouldn't you say it's about time I do another FNAF video for you? Despite all the bots, big bads, and encounters we've covered, I would say there's still plenty of lore to help us get inspired. Fortunately for us, I know just the game for this occasion. So get ready, folks, because next time we're going to Freddy's sister location. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching here to the end. It means a lot to me, as always. I'm really excited for year 2 of Creature Creator. I've got a lot of things in the works I'm looking forward to bringing out, producing next following months. I want to say real quick, I do know that there is a Thing board game that you can check out. Quite frankly, it's one of my favorite ones I ever got to actually try out. The catch is, I've had a pretty hard time trying to get it out on the table in like the 5 years I've owned my copy. Compare that to Blend the Clocktower, which I've gotten to play on numerous occasions, both off and online. I can not go and support Clocktower over the Thing. Though if you do have a group that would be into this kind of game, check it out, it's one of my favorites. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you don't, no worries. I still like you, and you're beautiful either way. Take care.